According to what was discussed on First Talk, the New York Knicks might have stumbled upon a serious sleeper in undrafted rookie Dink Pate, someone who's showing signs of becoming a future difference maker. And on top of that, Marjon Bochamp, who had been going through a bit of a cold stretch, finally had that breakout performance fans have been hoping for. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's dive into everything they covered. Now, while it would have been nice to open with the Knicks pulling off an impressive win over the Indiana Pacers in Summer League play, that just wasn't the case this time. Despite a solid comeback effort in the fourth quarter that nearly flipped the script, the Knicks fell just short, losing the matchup 91-88. They started off slow defensively and only really turned things up in the second half. But even after grabbing a late lead, some questionable decisions offensively down the stretch cost them. Still, the Summer League is about a lot more than wins and losses. It's where we evaluate growth, effort, and flashes of potential. And in that regard, this game delivered. If you were paying close attention, you saw key moments from several developing players. One of the biggest takeaways from this game was Dink Pate. And for those following his journey, this game was a turning point. Dink Pate came in and made a strong impression. He tallied 11 points and 7 boards, not far off from a double-double. At 6'8", he plays with the fluidity and court vision of a guard. His feel for the game stands out, especially when it comes to defense, which seems to be improving every time he steps on the court. But that's not all. He also chipped in 2 assists, picked up a steal, and finished with a +7 in just over 17 minutes of action. If we're talking about the most impactful performances of the night, the trio of Marjon Bochamp, Dink Pate, and Anton Watson comes to mind. Speaking of Watson, he threw down a highlight reel dunk that turned heads. If you haven't seen it yet, it's worth a look. Meanwhile, Bochamp was back in rhythm, and Pate showcased a level of maturity and timing that's hard to ignore. Now, there were others who made an impression too. Tyler Kolek had a rough shooting night, but more concerning were his late-game decisions. Despite struggling offensively, he tried to take over in crunch time and forced some ill-advised shots. That definitely played a role in how the game slipped away for New York. He'll need to clean up that shot selection if he wants to grow into a more reliable option. Another name worth spotlighting is James Ennaji. He didn't make waves offensively, but he was impactful on the other end, grabbing boards, playing sound defense, and generally being a physical presence around the rim. His role may not have been flashy, but it mattered. Back to Dink Pate, there's something about the way he plays that stands out. On both ends of the floor, he was poised, active, and smart with his decision. And late in the game, he became more aggressive as a scorer. Right now, he's very much in the mix for a two-way contract. Based on what we saw, he absolutely deserves to be in that conversation. He's still raw and has a lot of developing to do, but the potential is clearly there. It's true that he's still a work in progress, especially as a scorer. That part of his game hasn't fully clicked yet, but the tools are there. His handle is tight, he sees the floor well, and he can break down defenders to create opportunities for teammates. We even saw a great connection between him and Bochamp during one of the better sequences of the night. What really impressed was his rebounding, particularly on the defensive end. He was constantly in the right spots, reacting instinctively to missed shots and crashing the boards hard. That kind of awareness isn't something you can necessarily teach. It's a feel, and he has it. All things considered, Dink Pate looks like someone who would benefit tremendously from a full season in the G League. Let him develop, build on what he's already shown, and then bring him back next summer for another Summer League run. Give it time and watch what happens. There's a very real chance he emerges as a rotation-caliber player with the right development path. At this point, it's safe to say the Knicks have something interesting on their hands. No, he's not NBA ready today, but if you watched him closely, you saw a player who has all the raw tools: length, IQ, instincts, and defensive potential. Give him time to work on the offensive polish, and he could absolutely carve out a spot in the league. You can see it happening in real time. This kid is focused, he's locked in, and he's clearly putting in the work to improve his game. But we've got to switch gears here and talk about another player, because honestly, he's been catching a lot of heat lately. And for good reason. Marjon Bochamp has not looked like himself. He's been struggling, and that's tough to watch, especially considering it's Summer League. Out of all the guys on the Knicks roster playing right now, you wouldn't expect him to be one of the ones having a hard time, but that's exactly what's been going on. In the early games, he just couldn't get anything going. He looked out of rhythm, out of sync, couldn't hit shots. But fast forward to today, and the story changed completely. It's kind of crazy how a few days ago he couldn't buy a bucket in the first half, and now, suddenly, he's knocking down everything. Against Indiana today, he looked like a different player. He was confident, aggressive, and efficient. He dropped 28 points on 10 of 16 shooting and went 6 for 11 from deep. He was lights out, pulling up from 3, hitting mid-range jumpers, attacking the basket, finishing through contact, converting, and won. He was in total control. Defensively, he still has room to grow, but honestly, this was the best we've seen him play on that end all summer league. He was engaged, locked in, and playing with purpose. That's what you want to see from a guy trying to prove he belongs. Because, make no mistake, he can hoop. He's talented, but the problem is, he hasn't really shown everything he's capable of yet. Even with today's offensive outburst, he's still not fully tapping into his entire game. He should be rebounding more. He should be creating more for others. He has those skills. He just isn't using them right now. And I think we all know why. He's not just playing Summer League for reps. He's playing for a contract. Maybe that's with the Knicks, maybe with someone else. There's a two-way spot available with the Knicks, and sure, he might get it. If he earns it, and the front office feels like he deserves it, then yeah, maybe that happens. But you have to ask yourself, is that really enough for him? Is a two-way what he wants at this point in his career? Or is he looking for a full contract and a real chance to fight for a rotation spot in the NBA? If it's the latter, then maybe the Knicks aren't his long-term destination. He may need to explore other options, but if he's willing to take that two-way, come in and grind, then maybe there's a future here for him in New York. One thing's for sure, today's performance reminded everyone around the league that he can score the ball. He's sending a message. If you take a chance on me, I'm going to give you everything I've got. He has the tools to contribute, but for me, I just want to see him round out his game. I want to see him do more than just score. He has the potential. It's just about putting it all together. Now, switching back to Dink Pate for a second. Even with Bochamp going off today, I still keep thinking about Pate. There's just something about him. His upside is real. His skill set is impressive. And with the right development, he could be a major piece down the line. The fact that the Knicks got him as an undrafted rookie? That's wild. That's all credit to Leon Rose and this front office, who keep finding talent in places nobody else is even looking. Just think back to the last game against Brooklyn. They had all those first-rounders on the floor, but everyone left talking about Mohamed Diawara, a Knicks second-rounder. And today, one of the biggest standouts? An undrafted rookie in Dink Pate. That's what Leon does. He finds value without breaking the bank. He adds pieces in smart, sustainable ways. That's how you build a championship roster. And Leon's been operating this way since he took over. He doesn't make flashy moves just to make headlines. He finds pieces that fit. And clearly, that's not stopping anytime soon. I love when this team finds guys no one else believed in and turns them into legit NBA players. It's proof that with the right scouting and vision, you can always find talent, and Dink Pate is that kind of find. He's got the upside, he's got the raw talent, and he might just be the wing of the future for this team, if everything comes together. But now, I want to hear from you. What did you think of the Knicks game against the Pacers? And what about Dink Pate? What did you see from him that excites you? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave a comment, and make sure to subscribe. Until next time, Knicks fans, take care of yourselves, your families, and each other. Peace.